Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. You are taking a live, raw, and unfiltered look over Gaza City there as Israel is at war. We did see just before the break some rockets flying, and then you saw them go toward the ground. And now what you're looking at is a live image with a lot of fire. It looks like it did hit a ship or something of that nature. We've seen this a lot over the past several days as these different rocket attacks have happened there in Gaza. Again, a lot of fire on your screen. And if you're not too familiar with how all of this is played out, I do want to go over some of the basics here. The fighting does continue day 4 now, and the death toll now at more than 1,600 on both sides. Around 900 people have been killed in Israel and about 700 in Gaza. That is according to local media reports that have been provided. This all did begin over the weekend with that surprise attack by Hamas on Israel. We brought that to you as it was breaking here on Live Now from Fox. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke shortly after the attack, declaring that Israel was at war with Hamas, and this marks the first time that Israel has declared war since back in 1973. That was the Yom Kippur War. The U.S. State Department says at this point at least 11 Americans have been confirmed dead. Sadly, that number is only expected to rise, and we do know that several Americans are also being held hostage, as the last count does say that there are more than 100 hostages currently. President Biden is expected to address the violence in Israel at 1 p.m. Eastern time today. You can watch those comments right here, live, raw, and unfiltered on Live Now from Fox. Biden initially made a brief statement Saturday condemning Hamas and pledging support for Israel. This statement today is expected to be a much longer one. We know when he did speak over the weekend, that was fairly brief, about 3 minutes in length, but this one is expected to be a bit longer. We know we have received several different statements coming in from several different officials in other countries speaking about their support for Israel, and that is what President Biden is expected to pledge once again later on today. Again, you are taking a live look over Gaza City at this point. That is just one fire that we've seen break out after these missile attacks that have taken place over the last several days. It actually looks like we may have just seen another missile attack on your screen. Take a look. We're going to keep it on this live image here to see what happens next. There is that smoke in the distance. And again, before the break, we did see those rockets in the air. And then we saw all of that smoke. You could see the camera person that was over in that area move the camera around. We do have a different shot that is coming in once again. This is essentially just a different angle on the fire that we were just showing you. There are several cameras that have been provided by the Associated Press, Reuters, and other organizations that are out there that are capturing each and every moment as this does happen here. Again, a fire on a ship. If you are just joining us, Israel is officially at war. And as you see on your screen, the death toll is now at more than 1,600 combined on both sides. Around 900 people killed in Israel and about 700 in Gaza. Those numbers are expected to rise, and they could rise significantly as this war does rage on. I am going to keep this on this image over Gaza City that we have. Sadly, we have seen a lot of these images that have played out over the last 4 days, as this is now day 4 of Israel at war, declaring war against Hamas after their surprise attack on a holy holiday. And I do want to remind you that President Biden will address the violence in Israel at 1 p.m. Eastern time today. If my math is correct, that's just under 3 hours. I know mostly when we take those speeches from President Biden, they're usually a little later than the scheduled time. This one is expected to start on time. So again, we will make sure to bring those comments to you here on Live Now from Fox. I'm taking a look at some of the other shots that we do have coming in as well. I know a lot of the cameras are now focused in on this spot as we do see the flames. We see the smoke that is piling up there. We also have another image that is showing Jerusalem, but that one does remain fairly calm, though we do know that there are sirens that are blaring at this point. We've heard that that is happening in Gaza. It's happening in Jerusalem, as well as